how do you feel about, and you really, you were talking about if it comes out that she is wrong, how do you think that will affect her?
Lee Tustin is a woman of integrity. Lee Tustin believes in herself. She lost her job, but she never lost her integrity. She was a biology professor at Valdosta State University, and because she fought for the black people at that university at the bottom so that they would get a livable wage, she was fired, and then she sued Valdosta State University and received, as I understand it, the largest settlement out of court than any non-tenured professor in the history of that school. She lost her job, but she never lost her integrity. She lost her job, but she never lost her commitment to truth and to honesty. And if, in this case, it turns out that all of these people that she interviewed and talked to lied to her, she would be the first. She would be the first to say so and turn around and say something about them lying to her. She's that kind of person. I respect her, and I would never, under any circumstances, throw her under the bus when she's done more than all these people out there that are talking about her, period.
Even when the pastors would not get involved in many instances, would you agree that she went to, not just in Valdosta, but out of town?
She has spent more of her money, she has spent more of her time, more of her energy than anybody in this town, including Floyd Rose. Anybody. I respect her for that. And all these people who are talking about her now don't know what they're talking about. They don't know her. They know of her, but they don't really know her, because if they really knew her, they would never do that.
How far has Lee Tustin, the president, and Lee Tustin, the civil rights leader, and Lee Tustin, the women's rights leader, willing to go? Do you think she would be willing to jeopardize not only her job but her husband, as well as maybe going to jail for her cause and what she believed in?
Lee Tustin was one of two white women who went to jail along with me and you and other blacks on the 5th of May in, I believe it was 2005.
Yes, sir.
Because we were trying to get a park renamed after somebody that looked like 98% of the people who lived out there. She went to jail along with the rest of us. When she came out, nobody wanted to say anything about why we were there, what happened to us while we were there. Although I was put in solitary confinement and kept away from everybody else, she and the women, another white girl who was a student at VSU, and several black women were put in a holding cell where if one of them had to use a toilet, there was one toilet, the rest of the women had to stand around and protect her from the sight of men. It was cruel, it was inhumane. Nobody talked about it. Nobody. And so I'm not going to say that Lee is always right about everything. Floyd Rose is not always right about everything. But the people who are doing the talking, they're not always right about everything. But I don't want to judge somebody else because of what I see or hear, and then want them to judge me based on my motives. That's not fair. Mm-hmm. But we do that, and it's wrong.
Reverend, excuse me, but have you ever thought about, and since you kind of differ with me a little, but we kind of on the same page on something, but I want to ask you this question. What do you think, based upon the little knowledge that you know of it, why do you think I have been banned for 161 days from the Lowndes County High School property?
First of all, I want to respond to your first statement.
Okay.
You always say that you know, we don't agree, but you never tell me what we don't agree
That
on.
ain't your business. Go ahead.
All right, well, I just want to put that out there.
I got you.
Second thing is, I'm not familiar with your case, but I tell you what I'd do if it was me.
Okay.
I'd just go on out there anyway and let them put me in jail. First of all, I don't think they'd have the nerve to do that.
You don't?
No. What, on what charge?
They got me on the criminal trespass warning. And as I said before, Reverend Rose, is that this is on their radio. I have it recorded. It's on their radio.
Have you ever talked to the superintendent about it?
I can't go on the property. I have called, I've talked to the sheriff, I've talked to all the
Yeah, but did you?
Superior Court.
Okay. I'd be glad to, but I'm going to only do it if that's what you want.
Well, I'd love for you to do it. Robertson went and did it. But yeah, so we'll leave it like that. But my question, Robertson and people that know, they got an opinion on it. I was just wondering, because I never heard you speak on it, and I've gone to the Valdosta Daily Times and the TV stations, and it seems to me that a military veteran that served over 21 years, that somebody would be concerned about my constitutional rights being violated. And of all people, I thought that you probably would address and say something on behalf of your beautiful brother, George
I'll tell you what I'm
Poston.
going to do, George. I'm going to call the superintendent, and then I'll let you know what he says. But I'm convinced that you should be able to go out there, and if it was me, I'd go.
You would?
When I was in Toledo, if I were going to march against anybody, I never got a permit. Never. I didn't know anything about it until I got here.
Well, I do plan. I've talked to some attorneys, by the way. I have talked to some attorneys. I can't. Anyway, let's leave that off. But anyway,
Plus that's a legal case. I'm not a lawyer.
okay, all right.
I'm not.